Donald Trump's victory in the US presidential election has reignited calls by the Greens for Australia to end the AUKUS military pact. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says he still has confidence in Kevin Rudd as US ambassador. Political correspondent Olivia Casely joins me. Hi there, Liv. So take us through the domestic political reaction.
Well, the Prime Minister and opposition leader have been united in congratulating US President-elect Donald Trump, saying that the relationship between the United States and Australia, it's rock solid and won't change in the event of this outcome. The Labor government does say that it's been prepared for this outcome. In recent months, we have seen members of the Albanese government making overtures to potential future members of a Trump administration. So, for example, Foreign Minister Penny Wong has met with former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who is widely tipped to be going to play a key role in the future Trump administration, maybe Chief of Staff. However, it hasn't all been congratulatory in terms of domestic political reaction. The Greens leader Adam Bandt describing the result as terrible. He's calling on Labor to tear up the AUKUS nuclear submarine deal. I did ask Senator Wong for her reaction to this statement this morning. Have a listen.
The Greens continue to demonstrate their irresponsibility over and over again, but I would say this to Australians. First, remember what AUKUS is about, assuring the peace. It's about deterrence to assure the peace in a contested region.
There are certainly questions about what a potentially more isolationist Trump administration would mean for Australia, whether that be on issues such as the economy, of course, national security, as well as stability in the Indo-Pacific. And the opposition leader, Peter Dutton, in his response today, has touched on those points. So as you'll see in his statement here, he says, may the years ahead be some of the most defining for our alliance, in which, driven by tests of our times, the necessity of deterrence and the cause of securing peace through strength, we unleash the defence, industrial and economic opportunities of AUKUS at speed and scale. Now, Leigh, let's just cast our minds back a couple of years. We'll remember that when Malcolm Turnbull had a pretty testy phone call with the then President Donald Trump in 2017, many pundits worried that this had really set back the relationship. Given this, there has been some anxiety within Labor about the choice of Australia's ambassador to the United States, Kevin Rudd, and his suitability for that role. He has been a vocal critic of Mr. Trump in the past, describing him as the most destructive president in history in now deleted comments. But he's made a pretty positive response on X.com today, saying Australians and Americans are long-standing friends, partners and allies. Our nations and peoples are bound by a history of shared values, shared sacrifice and shared opportunity. Australia looks forward to working closely with President Trump and his administration. Ultimately, we've also heard from the Prime Minister this morning. He held a press conference a short time ago. He says he has full confidence in Mr. Rudd to be Australia's representative in Washington, but the Shadow Home Affairs Minister James Paterson says ultimately it's a role he needs to take seriously.
Kevin Rudd is doing a terrific job, and it says a lot about how important we regard the relationship with the United States that we appointed a former Prime Minister. No, I look forward to working with President Trump. I look forward, I've had demonstrated, I think, my ability to work with world leaders and to develop relationships with them which are positive.
Able to work constructively with the administration and Congress to secure the very important things in the US-Australia relationship that Australia needs at an incredibly uncertain time in global history. And we will judge them on their ability to do that.
Despite the positive comments from Anthony Albanese, it's my understanding that he's yet to speak to the President-elect Donald Trump. And I'd also like to flag our colleague Kieran Gilbert has interviewed the Foreign Minister Penny Wong. That full interview will play just after 11 a.m, so in about half an hour's time, and it's well worth tuning into. Leigh?